All right, welcome to the Canary in the Cage podcast. I'm Ron Morgan and my co-host
Dave Havlicek.
We are here to entertain you, educate you, and hopefully make you laugh. So, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to laugh about this week.
There's only one thing to talk about this week. I mean, we'll fill in some filler out at the end of this, but
Well, it's not World War III yet.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that because the right-wing podcasters are at war with themselves. They're like, one group is saying, World War III, World War III. The other one's like, no, it's no big deal, it's no big deal. And I'm stuck in the middle going, he's going to fake it. He's lying. He's not going to do anything. Apparently, I was wrong.
He did something.
I thought he was bluffing. I thought he was like the whole Gaza Strip thing.
I'm surprised that there was less blowback from that than there was.
Well, okay, so remember when Trump first took office?
Yeah.
And we were doing a podcast, and you called me out, and you said, he's not anti-war, and he sent a missile, blew up a convoy.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Okay.
And I said, no, I disagree, because that's peace through strength.
Yeah.
Well, no, because he went after a particular person or a particular group. Now, but Iran, I'm not happy about.
That's not what peace through strength even means.
Well, it's...
Peace through strength means I'm walking down the street armed to the teeth, like with my AR strapped on my shoulder, and you don't fuck with me because I'm carrying, right? Now, what you're describing is I pick a random person and I shoot them every once in a while.
I mean, a missile up the guy's ass, and you go...
No, I get he's not a good guy, he's not a nice guy, but like you can't just go around shooting people.
But I mean, if you would literally put the missile right up the butthole, it's like, well, that's pretty fucking impressive. I mean, so...
it doesn't matter whether it's impressive.
No, I mean,
what we're talking about.
You got to give credit to the military. Oh, there was a woman on the flight, too.
I don't have to give credit to the military. It's not even them. It's fucking like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. They're making these things.
They put the missiles...
The military presses the button. That's all they do.
But they put the missiles right down the exhaust fan, the air
Yeah, but I'm
pressure
saying the
hole.
private corporations make that shit.
No, I know. But, so I was wrong. I actually thought Trump was bluffing the entire time. I thought he was pulling his... I'm going to run for a third fucking office. Whatever. But, so... I am not happy with attacking Iran because we attacked a country. How is this not an act of war?
It is. It's just nobody cares.
Everyone's like, it's not an act of war. No, Pearl Harbor was an act of war.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an act of war. Luckily, we got no problem with it.
Well, not yet. So I know like Russia has come out saying Iran has no nukes, right?
Yeah.
But maybe we'll just give them some. Right?
Yeah, Putin. He's got his hands full right now.
Well, okay, it doesn't have to be Russia though. Someone else can give him nukes.
Oh, because China, yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like this is fucking just.
Well, do they have nukes?
Who? China?
No, Iran.
Oh no, absolutely not. Well, not that we know. I mean, if they had them, don't you think they would have made some kind of display of force with them?
It's like they make the nuke and nuke's ready.
Yeah, like
but. Again, like I said, I don't know if it was on this podcast or the other podcast we were on.
We get around.
We're all over the place. If they had nukes and we bombed them because they have nuclear weapons, that's why we bombed them. Because even when Trump ran for office, he said Iran can't have nukes.
That sounds really stupid. That sounds like you see that guy walking down the street with the AR and you start taking shots at him with your 9mm. Like, that's fucking stupid. Leave the guy alone.
But... Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, they're another country. Well, I don't know why we're intervening in this.
Because Israel owns everybody.
That's my problem. Yeah. We stumped for Israel.
Israel owns Trump, and they own the senators, and they own
Yeah, if you want to hear about that,
they own the Epstein list.
Listen to Thomas Massey's interview with Tucker. He explains exactly how these politicians are paid off.
It's not just paid off; it's blackmail. They're on the Epstein list. And Israel.
Yeah, where is the Epstein list at?
It's in Israel.
Are you sure? Maybe it was in that bunker.
No, I think it's in Israel.
No, I think it was in Iran in that bunker. They're like, that's right, Trump's going, we got to nuke that fucking
place. It's in Israel, and that's why we have to protect Israel at all costs.
So, and then now we're worried about terrorist cells.
Okay.
Now, are you worried about terrorist cells?
No.
See, once you're here like 6 months, you're like, death to America, death to America. And you're like, what is frozen yogurt? And they go, and they're like, well, that was good. Death to America, death to America. Margaritas? Oh, that was good. And they're death to America. Live nude women? Got them. We got them. They're Americanized.
Yeah, it's just not that hard, man. Like,
I don't understand. And he's like, you get the call in, hey, attack, bomb all the malls. And this guy's like, I bomb the malls?
I love the mall.
I've got brunch plans there tomorrow.
Right.
I can't blow that mall. I can't blow myself up.
This is what I've been trying to explain to you with the illegals, right? There's no secret Chinese cell. The illegals love it here.
No.
They're not going to do that. It's the same thing.
Get them out.
It's the same argument.
Get them out.
No.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if the peace agreement, so Trump brokered a peace agreement between
allegedly.
Well, I mean, he technically did. Iran was just launching missiles like right up to like the last second.
I don't trust Israel like for one fucking second, and now you can't trust Iran anymore because we basically fooled them, right? Like we told them we're negotiating, just chill out. And then Israel sneak attacks them, and then Trump comes out and says, "Yeah, actually, I was in on that."
See,
so why would we trust Iran anymore to keep their end of any bargain?
No, I agree. I don't like what's going on. I don't. Yeah, it was not a good moment for my view on Trump, but I still support him. No, you gotta understand. I listen to a lot of other podcasts. There's like legit attacking each other. You said it was gonna be World War III, and it's not.
It's. I mean, like.
Yeah.
Again. Like, how soon after the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand did World War I actually start? I don't know how long it was, actually. I don't know.
It was actually 7 days and 3 hours. Fuck, how would I know that?
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know, but I'm sure it wasn't instant. Right? So you can't say, oh, we assassinated Archduke Ferdinand, it's not World War I yet.
Wait, there was a World War I?
Yes. Are you really that retarded, or are you just joking? I don't even know.
What do you think? I responded with a different joke first, and then I came back with that one because I just thought of it. I mean, I can't be on like good French jokes all the time. I gotta do some type of process.
I actually want to look this up because this is actually interesting to me. So he was assassinated on June 28th, 1914, and when was World War I officially declared? World War I was in August, so it was like a month and a half.
Okay. Well, no. Okay. So here's my problem with Iran. We either see, I'm fucking doing it. Israel either devastated them, or they allowed them to appear to be devastated.
Okay.
To attack back.
Yeah. I'm
kind of thinking it's the first and not the latter. I mean, Israel owns the airspace over Iran right now. Like, woo, their planes are flying around, they're bouncing it with the air shocks, man.
Yeah, but like,
you know,
I mean, all you gotta do is just you get a heat seeker up there and just start blowing that shit up. I mean, it's not expensive. It could be on a country level anyway.
Right? No, yeah. I can only afford one heat seeking.
Right.
I mean, if I was a country, I could afford a whole bunch.
Right.
But my neighbor better watch out because I'm tuning that thing right fucking in right now. Tell me my grass is too goddamn long. No, I don't know. I'm not real excited about this, but we'll see. I don't have an opinion other than that I think I wish he wouldn't have done it. I wish it was him. I would have loved if it was his negotiation point. Like, I'm going to send missiles down air shafts and blow up your nuclear facility. If I was like, no, you can't do that.
I just want him to say, like, you're all on your fucking own. It's like, we're done. We're not supporting any side of this. Good luck.
Yeah.
Any refugees that are like legit want to come over here and escape that shit, you're welcome.
According to the media,
we're not going to welfare pay you. You're welcome.
It cannot be white immigrants.
No, fuck
we
that.
cannot take white immigrants, apparently.
If you want to pay your own way, get a job, you're welcome. Leave your shit at home, right? Leave your fucking beefs at home. And then everybody else, you can go kill each other. I don't give a fuck.
You said come over as a refugee.
Yeah.
100% support that. Sneak across the border, not so much.
Well, I mean, if you make it so hard to come legally, then what do you expect? I mean, it's fucking stupid. Why do we have all these fucking rules and regulations? Like, have you ever looked at how difficult it is to get into the country legally? Yeah. It's absurd. I mean, like...
And that needs to be... And I actually hope this enlightens that and changes that process.
I'm not likely. Dude, we couldn't even get our in-laws to come.
Well, no...
I'm a fucking citizen born here. Born and raised.
Yeah.
I have no arrests on my record. Like, I'm fucking spotless, right? And I said I'm going to sponsor these people to visit us for a week or two. And they said, no, you can't come.
Really?
Like, what the fuck?
They couldn't get a travel visa?
No. Like, we're paying for everything. What is this?
Yeah, no.
It's ridiculous.
That you actually have a very valid point on. That's like the first one in a year and a half. That's amazing, dude.
Okay.
No, I agree.
Like, the worse you make the rules, the more people are going to sneak in. Why should I follow these dumbass rules?
No, Trump made it really easy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he did.
Wow's that?
Is it $50 million you have to invest in the company?
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
So what's the fucking problem?
I thought it was $5 million.
Is it $5 million?
Yeah, it was only $5 million. Unless he
Well,
changed
there
it.
you go.
Yeah, okay.
See? It's only $5 million.
But that's for citizenship. We're talking about a fucking tourist visa here. Like, what the fuck?
All right, $25.
I was like, they wouldn't take $25. They wouldn't take. It's absurd. Like, no, you can't bring your relatives over for a 2-week vacation. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, so I always thought if an American citizen marries a non-citizen, it's like instantaneous.
It's not.
You're right.
It took like 6 months. Or no, it took a couple months to get the green card. Well, the green, that's roughly instant. Because, like, you have to do the interview and whatever the fuck. So that wasn't the hard part. But, like, you have to live for, like, 3 years on the green card before you can apply for citizenship.
Okay, that's fair, because that stops the bullshit marriages.
But they're supposed to do that at the interview. That's what the interview's for.
Yeah. No, I wish it was easier for people to come in legally. I do.
And again, that's citizenship. My wife was already here. She came here on her own legally before I met her. So, like, that's not even the same.
Wait, you met her here?
Yes.
Oh, I always assumed that she was like in a third world country, like with no food and water. You're like, I got food and water.
No.
Come on. No. Come on, good girl. That's what I always thought. I'm just sorry. I just,
No, so like...
did the math.
And again, like, we talked about this where, like, constitutionally, they have the right, or the authority to say the process of citizenship, right? I think the Constitution is bullshit, but if you're going to go by that, that's in the document.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere in that fucking document that says you can block people from coming here. It just doesn't say that.
That's weird. Because I never had. I had a brief experience with it when a friend of my wife's daughter married a guy from Turkey.
Yeah.
And they got married in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, that's even probably worse. Then,
well, no, because in Mexico the wedding, the marriage certificate is honored here in America.
Okay.
So they had to do that.
But it's honored for the purpose of marriage, but not necessarily for citizenship.
He still couldn't come over. Now, I don't know how hard they were fighting to get him to come over. It was weird.
Well, it's not like you can fight. Like, you apply and then you just say no. Like, you can't do anything about it.
There's no appeals process?
No, you just gotta apply again. They're gonna say no again.
Oh, my God. Yeah. All right, fuck it. Swim across the river.
I mean, like, my family all came here in, like, late 1890s or early 1900s, right? And they just showed up. They said, here's my name. And then, you're in, right? There's no fucking... apply, there's no paying anything. Like, what the fuck? Why can't we just do that?
Do you know how many last names were butchered by Ellis Island?
Tons of them, yeah.
They're just like, oh, yeah, what's this now? Because that's all I can spell.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I could be Morgenstein. I could be Jewish.
Well,
you know how wealthy it would be.
Didn't you come here before Ellis Island?
Yeah, I think my family.
You guys were here before America, even.
Yeah, I think we were.
Oh, they actually made a joke about that in The Sopranos. Did you ever watch The Sopranos?
Oh, yeah.
So, it was one of the later seasons where one of the main villains was Phil Leotardo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Italian guy.
And he was making a joke, or not a joke, but he was saying, when my family came here, we were called Leonardo, like Leonardo da Vinci. And these Ellis Island motherfuckers changed it to Leotardo, like I'm a fucking ballet dancer, like... Go watch that show. It's the best show ever made.
Okay, so I got that. Well, we're going to do a spoiler alert. What did you think of the ending?
It was
Fade to Black.
Yeah, it was shocking at the time because I watched it live.
Right. No, sure not. Yeah.
And like apparently tons of people called HBO like, oh, you fucking turned off the service when the show was at the ending, like, and they had all these calls. It was hilarious. But no, I thought it was great, like, because so Sopranos is one of those shows you cannot watch it once. If you watch it once, it's gonna be great, but you're missing out on so much.
You'll see a lot of boobs and ass.
Well, so if you watch the full series and then like a week later immediately go back and do it again, you're gonna see so much shit that like, oh, now I get the fucking ending. Yeah. And I'm not gonna spoil it beyond that, but like they knew it the whole show. They knew it.
So
they put the little hints in there, and when you watch it paying attention, you're like, holy fuck, they planned that whole thing. That's amazing. Yeah. Now I get it.
It's funny when the Sopranos were popular. I was taking a class in my union hall.
Yeah.
And some Italian guys were like, I don't know, I don't get that show. We're Italian, doesn't mean we want to be seen on TV. And I'm like, well, of course you don't want to be seen on TV because we don't want to watch your dumbass family. This is made up. Yeah. Because that's the thing. People take a TV show and they think, well, that's real life. Because you mentioned that I didn't know people called in and said you cut the service off.
Yeah, because that was never been done before.
I could one-up you on that one.
Oh, yeah?
Gilligan's Island. People were calling the network going, why don't you just save those people? Why don't you just get them off the island? Now, that was...
Stop sending the Harlem Globetrotters!
Yeah, exactly. Stop sending the coconut phone and send them a fucking boat. No, I mean...
And the other thing I want to say about The Sopranos is, so like when they make a TV show now, right, because it releases on Netflix where people binge, they release the whole show.
Right.
So they plan the show for the whole season or for the whole series.
Yeah.
Right? And The Sopranos was a weekly show back then.
Yeah.
And it spanned over 6 years. So like to have that whole thing planned out and to have the episodes consistent across each other is fucking amazing.
That was David Chase, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That dude's amazing.
Well, the movie he made was kind of shitty.
Soprano movie?
Yeah.
Is it out already?
Oh, it's been out for years, like a decade.
Is that when like Anthony, the kid, grew up and became...
Well, see, like he was in there as a teenager, but like it didn't show his origin story or anything, and like he was not the right age compared to the other characters, and it focused on like other bullshit that was stupid and like they introduced so many. It wasn't good. I'm sorry, it wasn't. A good
I think James Gandolfini dying early. That sucked.
He was great.
He was in a bunch of other movies too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I dug him.
If you watch a lot of movies from the like mid '90s, late '90s, he was like you'll see him pop up as like an extra or minor character. You're like, oh, that's James Gandolfini.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss him.
Yeah. No, he's always really good.
So actually,
everything he's been in.
It's funny when I'm streaming a show on Prime, a commercial will come on.
Yeah.
And it's Big Pussy.
Still paying for this shit?
Yeah. Well, I do my free package delivery.
Paying to be advertised to.
But it's Big Pussy and the young one. Jesus.
Oh, Chris.
Chris. They're knocking on some guy's door like, hey, we're here to talk to you. And then I get a 6-pack of beer with him. And then in the background, you see the guy running across his front yard, diving over his fence. And I'm like, that's a genius commercial. But it's funny because that's a really old TV series. I mean, it really is. Compared it sucks. Now, yeah. I mean, I want to think that, I'm not old, but apparently I am. But
it came out in 99, I think?
Yeah, that would be about right.
Or 2000. It was 99. Yeah. I remember because the opening music, they had like a shot of the World Trade Center.
Oh.
And then they had to edit that out for the later seasons. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess you'd have to edit it out. But they left it in on the earlier seasons.
Yeah, well, they can't. I mean, I'm pretty sure on the DVD, it's still there.
Yeah.
On the earlier ones.
Oh, I don't get to 9/11 right now.
It always comes back to 9/11.
So, since you brought up New York,
yeah.
Anything weird going on in New York right now?
Apparently, they're about to get a socialist mayor.
So, I haven't had a chance to actually dive into the numbers.
Yeah.
I want to dive into the numbers of the Democratic primary over the years.
Okay.
I want to see if it was a low turnout or a high turnout. I have if there was a low, because what was your choice, the socialist or the serial killer?
I mean, like
you're
allowed to not vote for Democrat,
right? No. But that's what I'm saying. I think people didn't vote.
Okay, yeah.
But you're gonna let me get away with serial killer and nothing?
Why?
Como.
Yeah, so
he sent a bunch of old people to old folks.
Why would I disagree with that?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you got that or not.
About? Yeah.
So the reason, because the listeners may or may not know, and I was hoping you would sound out, So
I heard he came out and was bitching that they made him do it or something.
Yeah, of course.
Fuck you stupid bitch.
So in our opinion, and we could be wrong, what is his name?
Andrew
Cuomo was a serial killer, if that's the right name. No, he sent a bunch of old people to die in old folks' home during COVID.
Yeah.
And that was the legit.
Well, no, let's be accurate here. He took old people that had COVID and put them into old folks' homes where people didn't have COVID, so that they would spread COVID.
So why didn't we bomb? Because that's using a biological weapon.
I don't know. We should have
blown up New York.
Come on, Trump. Bomb the right people for a fucking change. Jesus.
No, I like New Yorkers. I mean, they're fun and they're loud and obnoxious, kind of like I am, my wife is. But what the fuck? I got a friend from Brooklyn. He's grew up in Brooklyn on tattoo. Yeah. He's like, I'm a Democrat. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that was even before AOC Democrat shit.
Have you seen this guy's plans?
No police.
God, dude.
Free buses, city-run stores, Anybody can transition, free money.
He's going to raise the corporate tax rate, and he's going to apply corporate taxes to companies that don't even operate in New York.
So this
what?
This is not my joke, but I found it really funny. So they said Wall Street's going to turn into Y'all Street. What I mean by that is Wall Street's pulling out of New York right now, going to Dallas and Miami. And
most of it's already in New Jersey.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And New Jersey will be going red.
So what they did was, so they went right across the river, I guess it is, to New Jersey, and they point these directional infrared microwave dishes at Wall Street, right, where the computers are. Mm-hmm. So they have like light speed trading, but it's the amount they save on the taxes is worth that distance.
Well, they moved to Dallas too. No, Dallas and Miami is where Wall Street's going.
God.
So I did like the Y'all Street. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. So New York has fallen. But now, do you know who the Republican candidate is?
No.
Oh, I just forgot his name. Is it Chris Swatz? So okay,
if you don't know his name, I don't probably know who he is.
It's well, no, he invented the Guardian Angels.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what the Guardian Angels are? You never come across the Guardian Angels? You know what? They may not have been in Chicago.
What?
No,
is this like a biker gang? I don't know. What are you talking about?
It was. It started in New York, and Chris Salwell, whatever his name is, he basically, there was a lot of crime in New York in the 80s, and him and his friends got together, and they started walking around beating people up. We were committing crimes and having them arrested. Okay. So they were their own gang. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they were protecting people.
Okay.
And then it spread, because I ran into a couple of them in Indianapolis. They were cocky motherfuckers. I didn't like them, but I liked what they were doing. They saw, we're the Guardian Angel patch and you're all of that. But I don't know. But he's a decent guy, but I think he's a bad candidate.
Yeah.
So the Republican Party either needs to get him out or get that dude some classes and get him ready to go, because he's got a good chance. Because now... So you've got the Democratic primary, I believe, was just the Socialist and Cuomo. Yeah. Cuomo lost, but now Cuomo says he's going to run as an independent. But the current mayor of New York is a Democrat who's been kicked out of the Democrat Party, and he's going to run as an independent. So it's just going to be... the Republican could just skip right into this shit.
People are just so fucking retarded, man.
Yeah. But New York, I mean, they came out for Trump. They really did.
The city?
Brooklyn, dude. Did you see the rallies he had? A Republican
rally doesn't mean shit. They fucking fly those people in. Both parties do that shit.
No, you can tell a New Yorker.
No, you can't, dude. Like in DC, with the Libertarian Convention, like those people were fucking bussed in. Like you knew they weren't DC people. Come on.
I don't know. I guess New Yorkers, you can just there's just something about them. They're loud.
They're crisis actors. That's what they are.
Oh, David Hoggs. Well, he was in the news too. He's saying something.
Oh yeah, they kicked him out of the Democrat.
Yeah,
and then they got him back in or something. There was a lot of drama. I
say leave him in. He's a woke little bitch, and he'll do more harm than good.
Apparently, like he was stealing funds or he was siphoning funds or some shit. I don't.
So what I had
know the exact thing that happened.
It was the way they handled the vote. And he wasn't necessarily eligible to run for some... I don't know.
Well, no, what I heard was like he was pushing his personal charities or whatever the fuck he runs on the DNC website or so. I don't fucking know. But it's all stupid. I mean, like...
Yeah, they're all Democrats. They're all corrupt. My opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm really not. So what else do we have? We have...
we don't have a whole lot. It was just those two...
Well, Los Angeles is kind of funny because the Mayor Bass... we don't have enough money to clean up for the riots. So if all you public citizens in LA can start cleaning up and painting over the graffiti,
well, I got an idea. Great. Just invite the president of China over, and then they'll clean it right up.
Newsom will be on there with that fucking scrub brush. Yeah, apparently they're criticizing him for being at a winery during the LA riots. And I'm like, not that I'm pro Newsom.
Where's he supposed to go?
I know.
You can't have dinner? Like, I gotta eat.
Should I be down there? Should I be like, stop this right now?
I mean...
No, I mean, I'll call a ball. I call balls and strikes, and that one's not on Newsom. But then again, during COVID, he was out dining at restaurants.
That's different because, like, he's saying the restaurants must be closed, and then going to them. Like, whereas this is just a riot, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Right? Like, one, I'm not gonna. I can't. Even if I was there, I still gotta go fucking eat, right? I gotta eat something. And I booked this wine trip like 2 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen the wait list for these fucking things? Come on.
It's actually his sister or brother's wine, right?
Oh, okay.
I think he's got in on that one.
Yeah.
But
Still.
point well taken.
Still, like, you're taking a day. Like, what's the fucking big deal? Trump golfs all the fucking time.
Oh, and then the secretary, now some lady with the Biden campaign, I didn't really give a shit about it. She told Congress, I was in charge of the auto pen, and it was not misused.
Well,
It's like,
wait. You were in charge of the auto pen?
Lock her up.
And it wasn't misused. Like, wait, that's the president who has to sign that stuff,
No,
right?
So apparently, I think there is a person put in charge of the auto pen, because the auto pen is there that if the president is out of the country, bills can still be signed.
But
So
no,
I don't think the president needs to be present. I think the president needs to authorize it to be used.
how is he authorizing it?
Well, apparently he wasn't.
Well, okay, in a hypothetical scenario where he's out of the country, how is he authorizing it?
I would think there's a code on there, and he can give them a code to
Why
punch
can't he
in,
just sign it from the airplane or whatever the fuck?
because people can't cheat that way. It was, the auto pen is it's bullshit. I brought it up.
Like, again, like, if you got a fucking broken arm and you're sitting in the office and you press the auto pen button, fine. But, like, if you're not in the country, then the bill can fucking wait.
Yeah.
Like, what? Or you send a copy, you fax a fucking copy. What is this shit? Come on. I mean, like, this isn't a country anymore. This is fucking not. Okay, it should have never been a country in the first place, right? I made that argument, so I want to catch myself there. But, like, you're not even doing the fucking simple fucking bullshit right. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. But they are investigating the auto pen, which is good because this apparently the fake doctor Joe Biden,
Yeah.
her chief of staff is refusing to go in front of Congress right now. So let's see when they lock his ass
No,
up.
here's the other thing. Like, all this shit has already been done and accepted. So what's an investigation going to do? Right? Like, I guarantee you that they're not going to look at a law that Biden auto-penned in, or somebody auto-penned in, and say that's not a law anymore. They're not going to do that.
They're actually going after the pardons. And fine, but yeah, it's going to be... But
How many millions of dollars are we going to waste in court over this? Like, I get that Fauci's a dickhead and he needs to go to prison, but how many millions are we going to expend on it?
Could we just do Fauci? I mean, I'll actually I'll actually pay my taxes if we can up the prosecution of him.
Why don't we just not have the government mete out
He was kind of
justice?
shitty from the 80s.
How about we just don't rely on the government to mete out justice? How about we stop doing that?
Jailhouse?
Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out and do vigilante thing. I'm not suggesting that at all. That's illegal and it's immoral. Don't do that. But if power is derived from the people and delegated to the government, why can't we just take that power back? Why can't we do that?
Because we're too weak.
Well,
we like our bun-buns and our TV shows too
someone's got
much.
to do something. Like, you can't just sit there on the YouTube comments and say we need the prosecutors, we need the judges. No, well, they're not going to change. So
we've been conditioned very well. Okay. In the 90s, this is when this shit started. The affirmative action.
In the 1890s, yeah. Okay.
No, in the 1990s. And everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah. Oh, that.
And
Okay.
then, no, hold on, but a lot more than... Like dodgeball's been removed from schools because it's too aggressive.
Yeah.
But, everyone given stuff. And all of a sudden, we're questioning why a socialist could just possibly get elected in New York willing to give free shit away? We got free shit that you didn't earn. Well, I'm used to that.
Well, speaking of giving away shit that you didn't earn, let's give away some Monero. Actually, they did earn this. Whoever wins did earn this.
All right.
Because last week we posted a photo or a snapshot of a video.
Yeah.
With it was a video with the president of Italy, Meloni.
Yeah.
Rolling her eyes at something that Macron said.
Yeah.
And we asked you guys to fill that in for us. So what?
So what do we got?
So first one was almagest, and he just gave us some text. So he says, the abuse from my wife just ain't doing it anymore. Would you step on my nuts and call me names?
That is a good one.
And we had a new guy, L337. Now he says, and I'm gonna know. I didn't quite understand, but like it's a valid submission because he said this is for the submission. So
no, there's
if you can understand it, then more power to you.
So let me think about that. Yeah, I might need some time on that one. I know because it explains her facial features. It does.
Okay.
But you could almost say that it's the same thing he could have made, but what's the backstory to that?
Yeah,
it's the backstory I cannot think, but hey,
right.
Whatever.
Yep, it counts.
You get put in the wheel.
So next we had MoneroMash. She gave us a meme. So we're going to read that meme here. The TV looks like shit. Let me see if I can adjust that brightness.
Ooh. So my husband hit me. I've called for an armistice. I don't know what that word means.
Armistice?
Yeah.
It's like a peace,
there you go.
Ceasefire.
Okay.
Brightness. Shit, we're already at the bottom. What is this?
It's our studio light that's washing us out. But the words came up nice. I mean, we all know what she looks like.
All right, well, we're reading for you guys anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, now it looks nice. Oh, that's weird. It looked like... Anyway. Yeah, my husband hit me. I've called for an armistice. It's the French way when faced with a scary bad man. I expect we'll return to happy, fun Betty time very soon.
I love this. Who did this?
That was MoneroMash.
So he took screenshots of the video. Yeah. And that was good. I like that.
And your N key's all stuck.
It's my peanut butter and jelly.
Quit jerking off to the N key.
No, I don't jerk off on that computer. I use another computer.
Mash. And then last was MavMcQ, who sent another meme. Dave and Ron from Canary in the Cage podcast said you have an OF page. Can their listeners have the link?
Oh, OnlyFans. Okay,
yeah,
give me a second. I'd pay for that. No, she's an attractive woman.
So that was Mav.
Add the power to her.
McQ.
And give the attractiveness. Oh, she's good.
All right, let's see who wins.
Spin to win.
Almagest. All right, you got to contact me to collect your funds.
Come and find us. Now, I will say, though, she gave, like, fuck me eyes to Elon Musk. No, if you really... Even Elon Musk's mother comment about it.
Oh, my God.
It was just like... I mean...
Yeah, but she's Italian.
Maybe it's...
Come on, she's Italian. That's how we are. We're Italian.
You'll see from our next Monero challenge, she does very strong facial features, and she moves this shit around quite a bit.
Yeah.
But fuck me eyes are fuck me eyes, dude. I mean, you... like...
Well, maybe these are fuck me eyes.
She was... Because he's taller than she was. She's like...
Is she single? Or is she...
I would hope so.
Well, I think you would know. I mean, you're the expert here.
I mean, it's not like I've got a chance with her. I mean, my wife would not let me do that.
Well, speaking of next week's Monero giveaway, let's go right into that. So, yeah, we got a video of Maloney again. And we're going to play the video, and then the challenge will be, you tell us what the fuck's going on here. Because I don't fucking know.
Si conclude un vertice importante, tanto chiaramente per gli impegni. Un messaggio molto importante. Mi pare
there's a little eye twitch. Yeah. And then there's this.
Su una politica espansiva.
And then there's this.
The constant blinking.
Mi pare che risolviamo grandi problemi.
The eyes wide open.
Sniffing.
See this? Well, no. So if you. If you go back, the second she walked up, she was sniffing.
Ha detto l'Italia, però parliamo comunque di circa 100 miliardi in 10 anni.
That's keeping the coke rock still up in the nostrils. Oh, was that a?
Yeah. So
that may have been a snort.
So yeah, tell us what the fuck is going on there. And
it could be drugs. It could be a naked man running through the room. Who the fuck knows?
Get stuffed in the wheel.
Yeah. Oh, so I mean, honestly, it's been our Iran talk this week.
Yeah. Not much else happened. Not that I pay attention
to. Trump definitely dominated NATO. Zelensky showed up at NATO, which I'm so confused on that one, but he was sucking dick for money.
That's still a thing? I thought Ukraine was...
Well, not, but that's why he's sucking dick for money
off
now.
The map.
Well, he put a suit on, too.
Oh, God.
That fucking matters. I mean, I don't know. What else? You got the NATO thing. Trump, I did like Trump's response to... He brokered a peace deal between Israel and Iran. Iran ran it up to like the last minute. Possibly went over by a second or two with a missile. And Israel was sending their planes. And Trump was heading to the plane to go to NATO. And he goes, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I kind of dug that. I mean, I'm a swearer, so I kind of dig it.
Oh, we had a show comment from a listener. From the new guy, L337.
Oh, great.
So
criticizing you?
No. He was talking about, you mentioned raised beds for your garden.
Yeah.
He said instead of that, maybe create a layer of soil with like 5 or 6 inches high off the ground.
Yeah.
And then put wood chips on it.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about. I don't do raised beds.
Okay.
But that's what the Vegas gardening community says we should be doing. I'm willing to fight to turn my dirt into soil. And that's actually kind of what I'm doing is he must be from a desert area. And maybe he's a Vegas listener. Who knows?
Don't know. Yeah, don't know.
But yeah, that's kind of the mulch.
He's a dark web guy.
The mulch would be the roof that I was talking about. So so that is a valid way to do it. But I'm still struggling because like I've done this now. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks. My corn's growing.
Oh, there you go.
But I think I need to add some nitrogen. My tomatoes. Sorry. The plants are growing, but the fruit's slow to come. So I'm still trying to key this shit in because growing in the desert fucking sucks. That's all I'm saying. Oh, what the fuck they're doing? So call back to Trump. All right, where are we at? We're 35 minutes in.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a short show today, but maybe people like that.
Yeah.
Maybe people don't want us to yap so much. So are we ready to move into?
Yeah, let's go to.
All right, so this is gonna be part 2 of the fiat currency scam. So last week I went over how commodity money works and how governments like to take it over with their stupid fucking games.
Let me interrupt you for a second. I'm sorry, because I want to say this because this is in reference to last week.
Yeah.
Because I was at an antique store over the weekend,
okay,
and the guy was selling like silver certificates and dollar bills and $20 bills, and you're right, it does say like one piece of gold.
Yeah.
I mean, to make it simple, $1 is $1 worth of gold.
Well, $1 is an ounce of silver, and then $20 is an ounce of gold. Okay, historically.
So what price point is that gold at?
Right now, gold is like $3,300.
But when that document was printed, isn't that a contractual piece of paper that says
good luck. Good luck.
You know where I'm going with this, right? I want to buy a bunch of old 20s and go, I want a bunch of fucking gold.
Yeah, well, that's when Nixon went on TV in 1971. Well, actually, so Nixon severed that convertibility for other countries. For citizens, we were not allowed to do that since the 30s. So FDR said in, I think, 34, you cannot redeem these certificates anymore.
Oh, bastards.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Because I was...
So, like, you can say you have to contract, but it's the government. They're
it's got all the information of a contract.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Okay, it's government. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so, like, that was the commodity money and how governments take it over. So today I'm going to talk about debt is money and how that kind of works.
Oh, okay.
So, human writing actually started to keep track of debts. So when we say, like, prehistory, that means before writing. Okay, so history is about writing, and like the earliest examples of writing we have are Ron owes Dave 20 fish, things like that. And now like there's these goofballs going around called modern monetary theorists, MMTers, and they like to claim that debt is the original money because historically that's the first thing we see in history. But like you wouldn't expect to see writing about gold coins being money before there was writing.
Right.
Like, why would you write it down? I'm just going to give you gold coins, you're going to give me the fish. That's fucking stupid. No, we started doing this because certain things are seasonal. So when people started farming and settling down specific areas, right, corn is seasonal. Or it wouldn't be corn because that was New World. But like wheat. Wheat is seasonal, right? And fish is seasonal. And other things are not seasonal. So you needed to write down to keep track of these debts. To say Ron owes me a barrel of wheat, and I owe Ron a barrel of fish, and all that kind of shit. So that's where writing began, and how we started using debt as money. So, like, let's say you owe me 20 fish, and I write this down on paper, and I decide I don't really want fish, right? So I take this piece of paper, and then I sell it to the apple guy, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
So he gives me apples. Now he has a note saying Ron owes me fish, and then he would show up with the note. And you would just pay him the fish.
Right.
Because you don't care who gets the fish. You just know that there's a note, and it has your signature, so you pay the man the fish. Right? So that's how debt is money started, and how writing started, which is how history started. So yeah, it's a very valid subject to study. So, like, I'm not going to say debt, there's no such thing as debt money. No, debt can be money. It's a valid thing to do as long as it's a free market.
Like a barter system.
And then, so last week I said, hey, this is $1 now, right? This stupid thing, this is $1 as opposed to the silver coin. Well, so the funny thing is the government actually keeps track of this shit. And there's a website called Fred. And Fred is the Federal Reserve something data sheet.
They named it after my dog?
Yeah. Well, so if you go to Fred, and actually, let's do that real quick. Fred Money.
So my dog's name is Fred, by the way. But if you break into my house, don't tell him to sit, because that's actually the word means attack. It's a surprise for most people.
Where's the original one?
So since we still have dead air,
Let's do that. Okay, you go to Fred, and they have the searches are actually really good. So if you look at like money supply, we can have a whole bunch of these things here. We have M1, M2, total money supply. Like there's a whole ton of fucking shit
I've
here.
not seen any of that shit, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Then I'll just talk about it. So you guys can do this on your own. It's all free. You don't have to pay or sign up for an account or anything. You can do it through Tor even if you want to. So there's one in there that's called the base money stock. Okay, and that's this bullshit, right? That's the number of zeros on paper that has been printed. And it includes paper and coins. And it's actually an estimate because they don't really know because, stuff gets lost and whatever.
Yeah.
And if you look at the number, it's about $2.5 trillion.
Wow.
Okay, so now our debt is $36 trillion. And they only have $2 trillion of this stuff. So what the fuck's going on, right? So now there's other measures of money if you go. And you can actually add graphs to other graphs. So this is a great tool.
Oh, that is
so
cool.
you could load up that money supply that says $2 trillion, and then you could do a search for M. It's called M. There's M0, M1, M2, and again it goes whoever the fuck, who knows. So if you look at M0, which is the paper plus, I think Federal Reserve assets on their computer file, that will take you up to like 5 trillion or 6 trillion. So there's another like 3 or 4 trillion on the Federal Reserve database. Okay, then you go to M1, and now M1 is all that stuff plus checking accounts and some other like money market account. I forget exactly what it is, but it's in the definition on the website. So just make sure you read it closely. And then if you load that onto the chart, that's like 12 trillion or 14 trillion, something like that. And then if you go to M2, that's also savings accounts and like other types of loans and other exotic products and all this bullshit. And then that will take you up to like 30 trillion or something.
Wow.
So this stuff, there's only 2 trillion of this stuff, but the total money supply is like 40 trillion or something. So that means like 5% of our money is this stuff, and the rest is just floating off in a computer somewhere.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck is that, right? So most of our money is actually debt. All that stuff is debt, right? It's a piece of paper or a computer entry that says Ron owes somebody else this amount of money. So how the fuck does that actually work, right? So all this stuff works through bonds. So here I have a bond here, and I have it on our website. Hopefully you guys can see that.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Okay. So the way a bond works is there's going to be a face value, which is this thing on the left here, and then a date that you can redeem that face value. Okay.
Okay.
And then it has these things on the right, which are called coupons, and they each have 1 year from today. So these are all labeled today.
Yeah.
Plus a year, plus 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, etc. So.
Oh, it's not coming up. Sorry. I thought I would point and for
no,
some magical reason would turn on the TV.
So after 1 year, you can rip off this coupon and come get $4 from me. Okay, and then after 2 years, the second year you can get another $4, and then after 10 years, you would take this coupon and the bond itself and get $104. Okay, so if you work the math out on this, and what you would want to do is called an IRR calculation, which is an internal rate of return. That works out to a 4% interest rate, right? So that's what these numbers 4 are.
Okay.
Right? So every year you get a 4. And then when the bond is done, you get your 100 back plus the last 4. So in total, you would collect $140. So how much would you pay me for this bond right now?
So you just bought it just the other day, today?
Well, I'm issuing the bond. I'm making the bond out of nothing, right? Because it's debt.
Well, I mean, I'd start at 50.
You would buy this bond for $50?
Well, not. I mean, if I could actually cash it in.
Well, okay, so like you're saying it's risky, right? You might not be able to cash it in. That's fair. So apparently, Ron thinks the interest rate should be 13.34%.
No.
That's what you said. You said $50.
No, I said what I would pay for that.
Yeah, that means.
See, you seem desperate to me, so I'm going to go low. I mean,
right,
I know
okay, but I'm saying if you're going to offer $50, that means the interest rate on this bond is 13.34%.
But that's just for me because that's why I offer
Right,
you.
okay, right.
Okay.
So the interest rate between me and Ron is 13.34%. So let's say that I'm the government.
Okay.
How much would you pay for this bond?
Well, they're not going to negotiate, so they're going to make me pay $100.
Okay, then Ron thinks the interest rate should be $4.
4%.
4%.
Yeah.
Well, Trump apparently thinks the interest rate should go lower, right?
Okay.
So what is Trump saying, right? He's saying, I want you to pay me more than $100 for this bond.
Okay.
So now, here's the trick. The government doesn't, well, it does sell bonds to you and me if you have in a special account and like you bid it. Right? So they actually have an auction.
You can buy bonds because people bought my son bonds.
Yes, but they hold an auction. Now,
Okay.
when you buy a bond normally, you're buying it from like a broker.
Who bought it at an auction? Okay.
Right. It's you can buy it from the government, but you have to like sign up for their accounts and meet all these background checks and all this bullshit. But normally you would buy it from a broker, and they're going to charge on top of that rate, right? They're not going to just give you the base rate because fuck you, right? So what the government does is they sell bonds to the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
And the Federal Reserve, as we know, sets the interest rate. So now how do they do that? Well, they say, I'm going to pay you more or less for that bond, right? So the government just spends money, right, on bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they have wars and they have welfare and whatever the fuck. So the government spends the money. Now the government racks up a debt from spending that money, and let's say their debt is $100, right? So now the government says, okay, I have a debt of $100. Now you, Federal Reserve, you're the only one that can print money. I can only print these bonds, right?
Okay.
So I need $100 for this bond. Will you give me $100?
Okay.
You're the Fed. You're the Fed.
I'm the Fed
you're,
now.
you're the Fed now.
Well, okay, sure. I mean, I guess
Okay,
I'm going
fine.
with that.
So okay, great. So now the interest rate's 4%. Ron just says set the interest rate to 4%.
Sweet.
And now, like, the mortgages all follow and credit cards all follow and all that bullshit. So now the government says, oh, well, that was easy. I'm going to spend $150 next year. Now, hey, Ron, we're in debt $150. Would you please give me $150 for this bond?
Okay.
Oh, so
No, I would say I would not, but okay, but yeah.
Well, you're the Fed,
Okay.
right?
So no,
So the Fed's going to say no?
of course.
Well, but Ron, I can fire you. I'm Trump. I'm Donald Trump.
You can't fire me though.
I'm Donald Trump, Ron.
But I'm a private entity.
Ron, you're fired.
I'm a private entity.
Right, but I'm going to go to Congress.
Which technically, he should be able to fire the Federal Reserve.
I'm going to go to Congress and then get the approval, and then I can fire you.
Okay.
Right, well then we're going to replace you with another Fed guy.
Okay.
And he's going to give me $150 for this bond. Right, so okay, what happens, well, let's say you said yes.
Okay,
So-
I didn't know what I was supposed to say.
Well, you don't have to, so if you had said yes, now remember, at the end of 10 years, you're only going to collect a total of
Right, I lose
$140.
$10. Yeah.
So you've just set the interest rate to negative 0.786 by giving me $150 for this bond.
Okay.
And the Fed can do that, right? They haven't so far in America. Other countries have actually done this, where they have the equivalent of the Federal Reserve, the central bank, has gone to negative interest rates.
Well, we went to zero
Yeah,
for
so
like
we're going
a
to
short
zero.
term before, yeah.
And for zero, I'm actually not. That might be 140.
That would
Yeah.
make
So
sense,
if you
yeah.
paid 140, then that would be a 0% interest rate. But when Trump says I want lower interest rates, he's saying, "Hey, Federal Reserve, give me more money for this bond." Right? That's all he's saying. I want to spend that money. I want more money for this bond. And when the Federal Reserve says yes or no, well, where does the Fed get that money?
From printing it.
Right, the Fed just makes it up, so they don't fucking care, right? So if the government spends $150 and the Fed is run by a guy who's friendly to Trump, they're going to print that money up, and then that money's going to go to the government, who's going to spend it into the economy, and then that causes inflation. All of our prices go up. So, like, when we talk about the Fed setting interest rates, that's really the game they're playing.
But that didn't happen in Trump's last term, at the end.
Well, what
The
do you mean
inflation
didn't
went
have-
up when Biden took over, but he had the interest rates down to like 1 or 2%, and at one point it was zero.
Well, no, you say it didn't happen, but, like, how long do you think it takes for that money to actually filter in through the whole economy?
Yeah, no,
So-
I get it. It takes some time, but
Because this has been going on since Obama, even, right? Or even at the last end of Bush, when the financial crisis happened, right? So Obama jacked the interest rate way down.
but they were also paying like $150, 150% loan to value on a house.
Okay, but that doesn't even matter.
But that's what caused the housing crunch, or the housing crash.
Well, there's a whole bunch of things that cause that.
No, I know, but when you're loaning on a $100,000 house, and you loan the person $150,000 on a $100,000 house, and he can't pay his mortgage, and you go bankrupt on it, or you foreclose on it, and it's worth 70 or 80,000.
Yeah.
So so there's a lot going in on that, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but because this all happens because we do that, because we play this stupid fucking game, right? So now in a real economy, right, the government can't just print these up, and then there's no other guy on the other side that can just print dollars up. It's only me and Ron. And Ron's fucking saying, I want a 13% interest rate because I don't trust your ass, right? And then you could go to Apple Computer, because Apple can issue bonds too, right? And you could say, well, I would pay a little bit more for an Apple bond because I trust Apple, right? They're going to pay me back. But Dave's is fucking deadbeat. He's not going to pay me back. So, like, there's no the interest rate in a free market. There's the interest rate between Ron and Dave, the interest rate between Ron and Apple Computer, the interest rate between Apple Computer and Microsoft.
So you want to negotiate the interest rate based on the terms.
Right. So
whether it be credit score, term of loan.
Right. How much I trust you, how much I think you're going to pay, all that bullshit. Right. That's how an actual economy functions. But this game we're playing now, it's just like, I can print these off all I want, and you can print those off all I want, and then we trade them, and then we make everybody obey us or we shoot them. That's what the government does. And it's all bullshit, and like, that's why it's important that people understand how this works, because like you understand that it's all bullshit. Right? They play this game to confuse you. Right? Yeah. So because when Trump gets on TV and says, we need lower interest rates because blah blah blah, like, and you don't really understand what that actually means, you might think, oh, that sounds right, like we should have lower interest rates because then I would pay less on my house loan and whatever the fuck. But like, you don't realize that, oh, now the money floods into the economy and then BlackRock buys my house because they get all that money and I don't. Right? You're the last guy to get that money. BlackRock gets the money first. They buy all the houses and now the housing prices go up. So like, yes, there's the lower interest rate if you'd locked it in somehow, but you can't afford the house anymore.
Yeah, we talked about BlackRock buying up, or investors buying up.
Well, that's how they're able to do that, because they play this game, because they lower interest rates.
So, okay. So I was, I think I'm considering solar panels on my house.
Yeah.
And this company called, and I talked to them. I said, I'm not going to be easy. I'm not easy to deal with, blah, blah, blah. And I go, if you want to come out, we'll talk. I go, but understand, I think 99% of you people are scam artists.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be very particular.
Yeah.
Well, I told my wife, and she goes, well, let me look them up. She comes back, and she goes, dumbass. She calls me, it's a pet name for me, dumbass. She goes, that company's owned by BlackRock. And they're going to put a lien on your house.
Nice.
I go, the fuck they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I call the company back. I'm like, wait, you work for BlackRock and you want to put a lien on my house? Yeah, not gonna happen.
So like, you can actually think of solar panels as a bond, because that's essentially what you're doing. Is you're paying money up front.
Yeah.
To get a stream of cash flow that hopefully pays itself off.
Right, and it's right there on the cusp. Well, they made it so it's right there on the cusp of you save a little bit of money. Because of the life of the solar panel.
Right.
That's how they
allegedly.
Well, they also want access to my internet, which I'm like,
yeah.
No, I would have a separate internet for if that was the case.
Yeah, but so like, anytime any politician says the interest rate should go this way or that way or whatever, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or they do, and they're trying to confuse you, or they're trying to lie to you, they're trying to like create inflation or stop inflation but none of it makes any fucking sense, because that's not how economies work, right? Economies are free people trading amongst themselves, and like, whenever the government gets in the way, things get worse, no matter which way they go. So it doesn't matter if they raise interest rates, lower interest rates, they can't get the right answer because they don't have a free market. It's just two fucking dickheads playing a game amongst themselves.
I mean, I would love a bartering system. If we had a second, and crypto may be that, I just don't understand crypto. But I wish there was, and I believe there are websites out there, but a barter system website, or barter system with the neighbors or stuff, where you trade stuff.
Well, it doesn't have to be barter. Like, why can't we just use coin, like monetary units?
Because everyone has to have that value of that value is what we say it is. And
no, it's not.
If somebody walks up to me and goes, I've got a bunch of gold here in my hand, it's $100. Give me something worth it.
I disagree.
Well, okay, but
take a walk. Right?
So you put it on a scale and it's like 0.8 ounces.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so I don't know. I want something that is just free trade. It's just much easier to understand.
But the point is that like people will over time agree on the value of certain types of goods, right? Like a gold coin that is uniform, that has a recognizable stamp, and has some counterfeit test. You're gonna know what the value of that gold coin is.
The value of gold fluctuates. Now it's on the up.
Well, no. The value of this fluctuates.
The value of gold fluctuates.
No, the value of this fluctuates.
Okay.
The value of gold is the same. So when you see the number of gold going up, what's really happening is this is going down.
Yeah.
Because this, they can just print up. You can't just print more gold, right? Gold comes out of the ground at a very predictable rate and gets refined.
Steal the gold.
Huh?
You can steal gold. Apparently, we stole a bunch from Saddam.
Yeah, but the total amount of gold in the world is not rapidly changing.
Okay.
Right? It's about 1% per year, and it's been doing this for 5,000 years, right? So, like, it's not... The value of gold doesn't fluctuate. The value of this fluctuates.
Yeah.
And, like, the value of gold can change if we find new uses for it, for example. Right? So, like, when we started making computers, it turned out that gold was very useful for computers. Well, that means the value of gold goes up because now people want it more.
So why hasn't silver gone up?
Oh, it has. It's been going crazy lately.
Is it over $35 an ounce?
It's right at 35, I think. Or it's like 33 or something.
It hasn't gone up then. Because apparently you need lithium batteries.
Well, so the other thing about silver is that unlike gold, we've actually found better ways to extract silver. So like the yield we get out of silver ores and shit is more now than it used to be, whereas gold is still the same.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think the government has taken control of silver back in the 30s, and they manipulated the market ever since.
Well, of course they have. I mean, of course they do that.
Well, yeah, with gold, it's well, I mean, apparently gold, I don't understand half this, it cannot be used as currency. But as of July 1st this year, it can in certain states. There's a weird thing moving with gold right now, but there's some gold you can't cash in.
Well, what do you mean by cash in?
Like, you can't sell it legally. You have to declare gold. I mean, there's...
Yeah, when you travel countries, yeah.
No, but I think, again, I'm not a gold person. I mean, back in like 2006, I knew this guy. He's like, buy gold. The economy's going to crash. Buy gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's a fucking nut job. And if I would have... But the funny thing was, I actually attempted to buy gold.
Yeah.
I know I have $100. I was going to throw that gold and just see where it goes. But I couldn't figure out... Because to me, if I buy gold, I want the gold. Right. I want to possess. I want to see.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out. I guess I could have bought Krugerrands or whatever that is.
Yeah. But, they sell coins in bars.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out a way to do it.
So like they sell it. So a lot of these places will sell it as an IRA because like you get tax benefits. But to have gold in an IRA, you can't have it. It has to be stored off-site by a licensed gold vault or whatever the fuck, and it's fucking stupid because like you have to pay storage fees for that.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you just have it at home, like now pay whatever you want.
I may have mentioned this before, but there is a Canadian company that will store your gold for you.
Allegedly.
No. I mean, I think they're legit. I mean, who knows? But
just like the government will store your gold for you.
But the cool thing, you get something really shiny.
Yeah.
Which is apparently what Americans like. You get a credit card made of your gold.
Ah, okay.
So when you hand the waitress your credit card,
nice.
It's legit 100% gold.
Yeah, see, I don't like a lot of these things. Like, dude, if you're going to buy gold, just buy the gold. Have the gold.
I want a gold credit card. If I had the money, I'd so have a gold credit card.
You can just go to a hobby store and get gold paint with real gold flakes.
No. It's got to be pure gold. I'm a traditionalist.
What I'm saying, you can get real gold paint.
It's got to be like all gold, like all the way in the middle. I used to think it would be really kind of cool. Here's my gold card. So you see this guy running down the street with it.
You're going to fucking lose it.
Because that's got to be at least an ounce, doesn't it? A credit card? No way. No, gold. A credit card does not weigh an ounce. But a credit card of metal...
it'll be very thin. I don't think it'll be an ounce. It might. Depends. I mean, depends on how they want to make it. I don't know.
I don't know. I still think that'd be kind of cool.
No, but yeah, like...
Fuck you, your black card. Here's my gold card.
Just stop believing, like... Oh, the interest rate should be thus and such, and the Fed should do this, and like, no, the Fed should stop existing because this is all bullshit. It's all a game. They're just like playing games to confuse you.
I'm not an economy guy. I want to buy a house with 2% interest, so that I'm happy.
Right, but then the house is going to be like $3 million.
It is what it is. I just want 2% interest.
Why would you not want a house for $20,000 and 18% interest and just pay in cash? Like that's what I do with my credit card, right? I don't fucking pay interest. So you can charge me 80% interest if you want. Right. I'm not going to pay it.
Right. You got 30 days. Once you make a purchase, you have 30 days to pay that off before they can charge your interest.
So just do the same thing with a house. Like, well, housing should be cheap as fuck. I should be able to buy a house with a year's worth of salary or less and then just pay it in cash. But no, the banks do this. They love this have interest rates. Because guess what? If you actually calculate a mortgage, how much you pay, let's say a $100,000 house, for a 5% mortgage rate, You're paying like $230,000 on a $100,000 house.
I think it's more than that, but yeah.
It's absurd that you're paying more than double the value of the house.
I did bring this up a couple weeks ago. I was trying. Okay, so the first house I bought or the second house I bought? Might be the first house I bought. Yeah, it was the first house we bought. The owner's father wanted to be the bank.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, we met each other. We had agreements, and he was charging me 10% interest. And this was back in like the early, maybe the late 1990s.
Okay.
But it wasn't a 10% interest rate as a bank would charge.
Yeah.
It was a flat 10%. So, again, it's calculating money. It's calculating interest over a 30-day period versus a 1 month period.
Okay.
Apparently, there's a difference there, or I could be wrong. But the reality was the amount of interest I paid was minuscule.
Oh, interesting.
And he's like, I only want to do this for like 3 years.
Well, no. So was he doing it more like a bond, like this?
I think he was doing it for tax purposes.
Because, no, I'm saying like when you get a normal interest or when you get a mortgage, it doesn't work like this.
Right.
So a mortgage, they take this $100 value and put it into the coupons essentially. So now for each coupon you would pay more, and then like there would be they used to do this with houses actually. They used to work like this, but people bitched because at the end of your mortgage you'd owe this big payment.
Right.
And people were like, "Oh, that's not fair. Like, why should I owe you a big payment?" Right? But because you never paid anything at the beginning.
There was no balloon payment involved with this. It was just straight up. I don't know if he needed to own the house for a couple more years or what the whole deal was, but my realtor knew both parties, and she's like, "No, it's legit." We had lawyers read over all the documentation, and it went really well. And at the end of each year, when I looked at the amount of tax interest I paid, it was minimal.
Huh.
And
I mean, like if you do person to person, you can set whatever terms you want as long as they're written down.
So 10% sounds high,
yeah,
but it's where they calculated the 10% was what made the difference. So before we bought this house, I was talking to my realtor, and my wife thinks I'm nuts, dumbass. She was pissed, but I'm like, hey, can we find somebody who's willing to own her finance, but it has to be under my terms, not theirs.
Yeah.
But I can promise them they'll make money. And I laid it all out. Basically, if you loan me $500,000 and you give me the first 5 years of a payment, you'll make almost like $100,000 in over 5 years. Now, I don't know if that was a great return or a good return.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, you're tying up your $500,000, but over the 5 years, or was it every year? I have to rerun the numbers. But nobody would take it. Like one guy returned, like, well, I'll do it this way. And I go, the fuck? You're giving me a mortgage like I can't get one from the bank. I'm like, tell the guy I can get. We're pre-approved from the bank.
Right.
I'm trying to leave the government out of my home purchase.
Right.
And they couldn't get it. So, but and the thing is, I did bring this up before because I do believe someone could make a run at the banks and start a co-op. Because co-ops are different. So each person you would.
It's hard to do better than a bank because, like, again, the bank has this secret access to the Fed, and the Fed just prints money.
Yeah, but you've got I forgot. You got FHA insurance, you got mortgage insurance, you've got all this other bullshit that's on your mortgage because the government's involved. But I'm like, if because there's ways. I think if you start a co-op, you could even evict somebody out of their home if they weren't. I remember a good saying with the co-op. So I believe there's ways to do this, and I believe it would kind of like, and you could kind of like do like the Airbnb or the Lyft of home mortgage.
Well, the other problem is to do this with a co-op, like the co-op would have to own the homes.
So you would have to be a member of the co-op, so you would own all the homes.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is like BlackRock already owns all the homes. So how are you going to get these homes as your co-op? Right?
Well, no, you would be a mortgage company, and someone would want to go buy a house. And then they go, oh, I want to join your co-op so I can get a loan. And you run their credit, you go, yes, we'll loan you the money, and your co-op fee is this. Make the co-op fee minimal, and then the return goes back to the co-op. But the co-op is...
BlackRock's not going to sell the house to you.
They don't own them all yet. I mean, they almost got this one.
Well, if Trump gets lower interest rates like you were wanting, then they will.
So when I made the comment about a year ago that investors own 60% of the houses in America... Now BlackRock owns 6% of the houses in America. Like, guys, that's a problem.
Stop asking for lower interest rates. That's how this happens.
I think
demand higher interest rates.
I think it's worse with higher interest rates.
No, no. What do you mean?
Because it's a buyer's market. So BlackRock can walk in with cash and go, well, I'll buy your house for $10,000 less than
I'm saying BlackRock can walk in with cash because the Fed just prints the cash and gives it to them.
Sure. But
if we stop doing that, then they won't have the cash. They'll actually have to get real jobs to get cash, like all of us.
Again, reality versus Dave's reality.
This is reality. If the interest rate goes way the fuck up, then they can't play this game anymore.
See, I think a higher interest rate benefits the cash buyers.
No, it doesn't.
You could buy the house for cheaper. Nobody else is going to buy your house because the mortgage rate is 10%.
Benefits the cash. Yes, okay.
So I have cash. I don't care what the fuck.
Right, but I'm saying once they jack up the interest rates, the cash stops flowing into the economy. So yes, they have cash now.
But BlackRock has cash in the pocket. They own Target.
Right, but they're going to start running out of it. They're going to run out. Right, whereas now they're never going to run out. They can always get more.
So the reason I said co-op, and I never talked to an attorney about this because one, I don't have the money to loan people to buy houses because I mean it would be a lot. But back in like 2009 or 10, Obama banned cigarette roller machines. And I had a store making my cigarettes for me.
Yeah.
And when he banned that, which is weird because it helped the people, but then banning the cigarette machines helped the big tobacco.
Yeah.
But Obama was the president of the people. See, I'm getting a headache.
That's how it works,
it's
man.
Just, it doesn't make
It's not about helping the people. It's about helping your crony fucking big business people.
This particular tobacco store moved their cigarette roller machine into a garage.
Okay.
And we all had to sign up form that we're joining the co-op.
Yeah.
Cost me $1.
Yeah.
And I'll never get a return on my investment.
Right.
But I could buy cigarettes at this price forever.
Okay.
And we did that.
Yeah.
And the government could not touch them because I own part of that machine.
Right. That's how they do like raw milk and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that mortgage. It's a lot more convoluted. I mean, I've got.
We shouldn't have to do this. Like, why should we have to fucking play these dumb? Like, they're playing stupid games. Therefore, we have to play our own stupid games. Like, just leave us the fuck alone.
You know how happy I would be if I could come up with a plan that hurts the banks.
It's called raise the fucking interest rates.
Oh, it is not because that's more money out of my pocket.
No, yes, you have to eat a shit sandwich either way. You're going to eat it now or you're going to eat it later. But that has nothing to do with where the interest rate goes.
Future Ron deal with that shit sandwich.
Yeah, okay.
Present Ron doesn't want a shit sandwich.
But it'll be less shit on the sandwich if you eat it now.
What's the peanut to shit ratio?
I'd have to do another show on that.
You could actually figure out the peanut to shit ratio?
Of course.
The peanuts that you eat? Because you would have to know what I ingest in peanuts.
Here's this little side story. So you can buy peanuts in the shell or not in the shell.
Yeah.
Do you know which one is more economical?
You would think in this shell would be, but since you're asking, I'm going to say out of the shell.
So there's you have to examine the differences, right? So in the shell is cheaper.
Okay.
Per weight, right? But you're buying shells.
Right.
Right? But now you would think that doing the extra work to take the shells off adds cost, right?
Okay.
So that would mean that the removed shells would cost more.
Okay.
But actually, if you weigh it, if you weigh the peanut product, like take the shells out, weigh the peanut product per price, the shell removal ones are cheaper.
Right, because you're paying for the weight of the shell.
Yeah, and the weight of the shell is actually like 25% of what you're buying.
And most people don't eat the shell.
Right.
I say most people.
Yeah.
I've seen people eat the shell.
I don't eat the shell.
Yeah, that's weird.
On purpose anyway. But yeah, it's unintuitive. Right? And I had to go to the store and buy a bag of the shells and the bag of the non-shells, and then fucking take all the shells off and then weigh everything.
Did you have your whiteboard set up with?
I did. No, I did. I had an Excel sheet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I did all this work, and I'm like, oh well, it's better to buy the ones without the shells. There you go. So like,
well, it's like shrimp. Same thing. You buy shrimp.
Yeah.
You buy shrimp peeled.
Yes.
Or peeled and deveined.
Yes.
So yeah.
I actually buy it with the whole. I try to get the head on and everything.
So I have a question about this. I never thought much about the deveining. I didn't really cared what it was.
Yeah.
But it's shit.
Yeah, it's poop.
But people like it in there.
Who likes it in there? It's disgusting.
Oh, people don't like it deveined.
Who? Who are these people? Who are these degenerates?
No, there's people that they just want it peeled and that's they eat like that.
So you even like peel and eat? What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cut it down the backside.
No, even in Tommy Boy. David Spade's like, I hate when they devein these things.
I thought I hate when they don't devein these things.
No, I hate when they devein.
I'm going to bet you on this.
Because it was split.
No, I'm going to bet you on this. He said, I hate when they don't devein these things.
No, because it was all split open.
Yeah, and they didn't devein it. You could see the little shit line in there. Dude, no. So anyway, when you make peel and eat shrimp, which Bubba Gump has, you're supposed to cut down the back take the vein out and leave the peel on. Now, the reason I prefer the peel on with shrimp, regardless of the price, is because you can actually use the peel, unlike a peanut shell. A peanut shell is fucking worthless.
What do you do?
You make stock with the shrimp.
That makes sense. Huh, you need a lot of shrimp shells.
Yeah, you save in the freezer, and then when you have a full bag, you make stock. And make like a, what do you call it? The shrimp, or shrimp and crab, it's like a French, vichyssoise soup. Really good.
All right, so...
All right, do your thing.
Okay, so we're getting hot. Vegas, we're already hot. So let's talk about ACs. This will be a simple one, because I don't want to get too technical, but change your filters. If your condensing unit, which is where your compressor is outside on the ground, hose it down.
Okay.
You could buy a chemical to spray on there, or you can just have it. I always have it running, and then I just spray it because the fan that's on the top is helping the water pull through. And just look at the ground, you'll see all that black shit coming out, so you're doing a good job. If you've got an RTU, a rooftop unit like we have here in Vegas in a lot of cases, you might want to get on the roof to do this. Don't go on the roof if you're not stable on roofs. Understand there's pitched and, the slope. It's a low slope, high slope kind of thing. Because you can only shoot from a low slope.
Well, those slopes are dangerous. Like 15% is dangerous.
Even the Secret Service won't go on sloped roofs. But you get up there, you just kind of want to have your hose on. You can have a nozzle, no nozzle, and just kind of just spray it, cover the whole thing, and you've got different sections of it. But if that fan's running, it helps pull the water through. It all gets cleaned up, and it'll run cheaper and more efficient for you. So now, when it comes back to your filter, you got to use a little bit of critical thought here. They make cheap filters, and they make fucking rock solid filters. But the problem is, based on what kind of unit you have, sometimes you have to use a cheap filter because you need that airflow to cool that compressor, or it's gonna shut off on you. So if you put a really nice filter in there, and all of a sudden you're at home and your cooling shuts off, pull that filter, reset your unit, and turn it back on. That compressor runs. Your filter's too good. People buy all these microfiber, mold zapping, dog hair resistant filters. It cuts down the airflow. So your airflow is very important. So I always just use a cheaper version, but I also know how to go in and clean past.
You can also get an in-room filter for the other shit. Yeah, because I have one of those.
You can run an air fan or an air cleaner. Yeah, and hopefully get some of it out. But I've got dogs and cats. I got shit going out there. But I have to use the cheaper filters because we've got rooftop units. So basically, it's a compressor in a metal box in the hot sun. So I need as much air to cool across there. But what you can do to test your AC before you call a service guy out, if you put a thermometer in the return, which is where your filter is, and then you put a thermometer in the closest vent or grill to the unit itself, so they're probably going to be 5 feet away from each other. And you want to measure the air temperature going into the return and then coming out of the system. That's called the delta T across the coil. And your delta T should be around 20. 18 to 24, you're good. If you get more into heat pumps and other stuff, it may be higher. But if it's lower, then you have an AC problem. You either have an airflow problem or you've got a freon problem. So you kind of got to look into you got to kind of do some deductive reasoning. Be very careful about calling HVAC companies. At least here in the Valley, they are fucking scam artists. And my guess is, with the economy the way it is, a lot of them are scamming. No, it just happened again. A dude called for AC guy, wanted $16,000 to replace the unit. He got a hold of me, and I go, that seems weird. But we started talking. He goes, well, I have some kind of old Freon. I go, okay, probably have R22, which is a problem.
Did you change his blinker fluid too?
Yeah, no. The Freon is a big issue because they replaced R22 with the 134A. And now that's bad, and now they're going to go to something else. Yeah. But then if you listen to the commercials around town, they have plenty of new Freon, but they don't have the bottles to hold it in. What?
Well, the bottles are illegal. They're bad for the environment.
Yeah. Well, the government needs to stay out of this shit. R22 was fine. It was great.
What about the ozone hole, Ron? Come on.
But I gave him someone to call, and I go, if you have a leak, this guy put R22 back in. And it's going to be expensive because you go by the Freon, but it's going to be a lot less than $16,000. My guy went in and fixed it for I think it was under 1,000. Because he did have the guy legitimately had a leak because they even said they sell oil, so he's like, okay, I'm like, well, that's a leak.
Yeah.
But the dude who bought a bunch of R22 a long time ago, he's sitting pretty with it all. And then a small heat pump package unit just takes a couple ounces. So it was able to be fixed quickly. But the thing is that the other company wanted legit, like they wanted to replace the entire unit.
Jesus.
For $16,000.
Wow.
It's
So I live in like a condo multi-unit thing, and our AC unit is in like the roof of the bathroom. And I was talking to you off the show about this. Where like I have an overflow pipe in the shower that was leaking.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned something about like a pan.
Condensate pans.
And to put like these tablets in there. Yeah. So I went and I found the tablets at your favorite hardware store. I won't get into that, but and I put them in there, and it seemed to work for like 2 weeks or something, and then it started overflowing again.
The tablet can only do so much.
Okay.
You probably should get in and clean it out, I guess.
Well, so here's the problem. I pulled the what do you call it? The protective lid off of the fucking thing, and I stuck my head up there, and the area where that pan is supposed to be, I cannot even reach my hand in there.
So the problem is not as much on the pan side, on the drain side. Because
there's nowhere else I can go.
No, but there's got to be a PVC pipe coming off of that drain pan that goes through like a little trap and then
I can't see any of that. Like it's all blocked. So I was able to get my phone in there to snap a picture, and the pan looks like shit. Like it's like rusted up and all this garbage.
Yeah.
So I threw some tablets in there and it stopped for a little while. And then now it started up again, but I'll just put more in because I bought a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's the safest way to do that, but it could be.
So, like, what advice do you have for like people in my situation?
Well, it's your drain line is clogged or has some clog in it.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do is just, do you see the PVC?
I don't see shit.
So you've got to, I guess it could be metal. In Vegas, or you're in Clark County. I definitely go back and look and see if it's metal or but you should see two pipes coming off your tray. One is going to be lower, one's going to be higher. One is the main drain, and one's the overflow.
And if that's all there, it's all blocked.
It could be from because they don't always put the access panel in the best spot. Because the best way to clean a condensate drain is with air. Just a little air gun.
Yeah. Like I said, I literally can't even get my hand there. I could barely get the phone there to snap a picture.
The tablets may be your only solution. I wonder if there's a liquid though. Be hesitant about liquid to make sure it's not going to destroy the pipes.
Yeah.
But you live in a multi-family HOA building.
Yeah, I'll probably call my maintenance guy and be like, hey, you're like, what the fuck do I do here?
Yeah, your maintenance guy will know what works best because he deals with it the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, you basically that trap holds a lot of the slime.
Okay.
And you want to clean that trap.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I could actually get my hand in there, it'd be fine. But I don't know how they expect you to do that.
To get to the trap, it's going to be if the access panel's in the wrong spot, it's going to be a pain in the ass. So maybe the tablets will eventually get it.
So yeah, if you're in like a similar situation, like call the maintenance guy because like they
know their
usually
shit.
People on site that know the building,
and they might be like, oh, you're a condo, I can't work in the units, and then drop a $20 bill on the floor and go, did you drop that? They'll give you all the answers you want.
I mean, I don't care if he works on it or not. Just tell me what to do.
He may have a better solution. But the reality is the drain from that condensate panel legit goes to your parking garage. Is that below your building?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going down to your parking garage.
Yeah.
It's not solely going down. It's going to tie in with other units above you.
Yeah.
And I'll go down.
And someone's fucking leaked like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Condensate could leak a lot. But I would just keep trying the tablets or see if there's like a different form of tablets.
Yeah. And I'll try and snap another picture. Like it's really fucking annoying, but see if it helps at all.
Pans get really nasty and dirty. But the slime usually gets caught in the trap because what happens is if you don't have the right filter in, and this is where putting the cheaper filter in kind of hurts you.
Yeah.
Because if you have the cheaper filter, which is a fiberglass filter, you can literally poke your finger through it.
Yeah.
But then some particles are going to sneak past.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught what I said a second ago, is I know how to clean the ductwork past the filter.
Yeah.
And that's getting to the coil, the A coil, or the evaporator coil.
Right.
It's egg coil and furnaces and that. I know how to clean that, and I actually was doing a test running my unit without a filter at all because I have a rooftop unit, and I didn't know if it'd be pulling the stuff up there, and it actually worked out really, really well.
But you know what pisses me off is like nobody teaches you this shit.
Yeah, but to clean the evaporator coil, that involves like tools and knowledge of airflow.
Right, but okay, so like let's say you owned a condo and you wanted to rent it out. Like, wouldn't you try and tell your tenants how shit worked in the apartment and what kind of maintenance they should do?
So it's funny you bring that up. So I did two things. Once, when I first got into the industry, I actually worked in apartments. And I had a decent base of knowledge, but we don't know everything.
Yeah.
I had a staff. When I hire people, especially in the apartment industry, I would go less experience and more customer service, and I'd hire you.
Yeah.
I can't teach someone to be nice and respectful to people.
No,
I can teach them how to turn a screw.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would hook up with my vendors, and I go, listen, I'll use you as a vendor, but you got to teach us when you're here.
Yeah.
And I go, and then when you teach us and we fuck it up, we'll call you to fix our fuck ups. And they're like, okay, cool. So that's how I learned that way. Is I learned from having my vendors show us.
Right.
And it's pretty cool. We learned actually quite a bit. Now, knowing about your unit, I opened up a building in Chicago called the Morgan. I think I brought it up before. It was not named after me, even though I said it was. The owner's daughter was named Morgan, so I guess. But since my last name is Morgan, I'm like, it's named after me. This had some weird shit in it. It had like weird opening windows.
Yeah.
It had weird operating blinds.
Yeah.
Somebody got fancy with like stuff from Europe. And so what we did is we actually did a video on how to run the washing machine.
Okay.
I've had to teach people to use a washing machine.
Yeah.
There's nothing complicated about a washing machine.
Depends on what if you get these fucking Korean ones and the number, the buttons that Korean labels.
It's still start, wash, walk away.
It's Korean. I can't read that.
Well, what the fuck buy the Korean?
That's why I rent, so I don't have to worry about this shit.
So, but we did a video on how to operate all the different appliances, how to work the windows, the locking patio door.
Yeah.
No, this thing had space shuttle locks on it. Like you could fly this building to the moon if all the fucking things were closed. If the moon actually existed. But yeah, it would come in and you would turn the handle one way, it would lock all the locks, and the other way it would open the door. But when you went up to lock it all, shit wasn't lined up properly. Like there was bolts sticking out of the frame and brackets on the door. So we taught them how to do that, and that seemed to help out quite a bit because they taught people how to do the basic stuff.
Yeah.
Now we didn't go in depth, but honestly, YouTube has gotten to a point where
no, I get that, but
there are professionals.
My real problem is you're investing in this thing to make money, right? So this is why I rent, so I don't have to deal with this bullshit, right? So the person who owns it is buying it so they can rent it out to a guy like me and make money. And I'm a great tenant. I always pay on time.
Yeah.
I don't fucking make noise, whatever the fuck. But how much money are you losing when you don't tell me, hey Dave, once a year you got to you clean out the blinker fluid, right? If you don't tell me to do that, I'm not going to do it, right? Because it's not my property. I don't give a fuck, right? Because when it breaks, I'm just going to call you and make you pay for it. So you're losing shitloads of money by letting this thing deteriorate.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, hey Dave, can you just check the blinker fluid once a year?
Yeah. So it's weird because in Nevada, up until last July, you could charge your tenants for preventive maintenance work. Huh. So if you sent a company out there, like a handyman out there to change all the filters, you could back charge your residents.
Interesting.
And they made that illegal, which, the way I look at it is, it's your equipment.
Yeah.
Make sure it's done right.
Right.
Because fuck you're going to charge me for it. I'll run that goddamn filter.
Well, okay, I don't think the government should get, government shouldn't get involved because, if you're willing to offer me lower rent in exchange for I pay for this preventative maintenance, fine. That's a choice I get to make. Whereas now if the government says you have to do it this way, well then all prices go up.
Yeah, I mean, that's your argument you always jump to, but I also would jump to the free market's going to intervene, but unfortunately apartments don't really operate under the free market. So they're allowed to price fix, and you want to call me out. No, it's bullshit.
But so what? That's part of the free market.
Bullshit. That you can.
But we as tenants are allowed to price fix.
You can call your competition and ask them how much they charge.
But we as tenants are allowed to do that too.
No, you're shopping for the best deal. But
Right, but I can call other renters and say, hey man, don't rent that apartment for more than $1,000. We can collude. We're allowed to do that.
But that's not how it actually works.
Well, that's your choice.
But it's
like you're choosing as renters to not do that. But don't blame the owners.
But if you're calling your competition, you know your competition is going to charge. You're all going to be in the same realm.
So what?
There is no because then you can keep raising the rent.
Yeah, but someone else can start building shit and charge less, and they will.
But they don't because they see the greed that they get when they charge.
No, the reason they don't is because the government zones everything and says you can't build here. That's the reason that doesn't happen.
Greed is
It has nothing to do with greed. Everyone's greedy. I'm greedy. I'm a greedy renter. I'm going to get the lowest price I can. I'm going to call my buddy and say, "Hey, man, don't pay more than X dollars for that apartment." I'm going to collude with my fellow renters.
Which that's legal.
Well, so why is it fair for me to do, but not for them to do?
Because price fixing, you can do. What about milk? I mean, do you want to pay $12 a gallon for milk? Let the milk people collude on prices.
Somebody will offer milk for a lower price.
Rat milk?
No, regular cow milk.
I get the little nipples.
No, dude. Somebody will see that there's insane profits to be made by lowering the price of milk.
Oh,
that's how markets work.
What?
Markets don't charge more because they get more money. They charge what optimizes profit.
What color is the sky in your world,
dude? Listen closely. Listen closely. They don't charge the maximum price because that's not what maximizes profits. Profits are a curve. They have to find the point on the curve that maximizes profits.
In a free market,
and you're saying they're going to charge over here where the curve is down. No, they're not.
Over here because they know they're
right. And over here is $3 for milk.
But they know their competition is going to be charging roughly the same price.
It doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't fucking. Anybody can make milk. There's going to be thousands of milk producers. If the amount of profits for milk goes over here to $12,
anybody can make milk. I can't have a cow out here.
Why not?
I looked into it.
Well, why can't you? Who's stopping you?
The government.
Oh, the government is the government again. It's always the government.
Dirty government.
It's always the government. It's never the milk makers. It's never the ranchers. It's always the government.
So then I have to drink raw milk, and that's disgusting and gross.
So fucking boil it.
No, according to the government, raw milk is really bad for me.
So boil it. You have a stove. Oh, does big stove collude?
Pasteurize it?
Dude,
no way. I can't do that.
Big stove is colluded to keep you out of the stove market.
Pasteurizing is a big word.
And big pot and pan has made it so you can't afford pots and pans. No, you can buy pots and pans and stoves.
Drink raw milk if you can. Fuck the government. That's my new. I'm going to shirt. Drink raw milk. Fuck the government. No, they've legit arrested people for this.
Of course.
The Amish, they in Pennsylvania, they made them pour out all their fucking milk.
Yeah.
The Amish.
Yeah.
How about we leave them the fuck alone?
Leave all of us alone.
Huh?
Leave all of us alone.
Well, I mean, some of them. I've been in line at the grocery store. Some of them need to know what to do. I mean, no. Okay, straight up, seriously. Guy comes up to me with his phone in his hand, where I work at. Do you think you can view the cameras and see my motorcycle was stolen?
Okay.
Oh, like last night? No, about 2 weeks ago. I go. He goes, well, what should I do? I go, did you call the police? No.
You sure it was your motorcycle?
Oh, no, wait. He goes, well, but I know where it is. I go, what? He goes, that's a GPS on it.
Okay, go get it.
It looks like it's in my garage. I go, well, go fucking get it.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what am I going to do? I go, just go to the police. Show them the information, let them go and get it.
Yeah, they don't care. They actually don't care.
Yeah. Well, no, with car theft, they should.
Well, here's the funny thing. They only care if the GPS reports the wrong house, and then they'll go get a fucking warrant for the wrong house. But if you can say, the GPS is this house, I've, seen the motorcycle come out of that garage, they'll be like, oh, there's nothing we can do. It's a civil matter. The cops are fucking worthless.
Give me that address, I'll kick that fucking door in a second.
Right. Yeah, they're so worthless.
But and you may be right in that. I'm not even get cops. I don't have a problem with them, but I have a problem with the reporting numbers. They misrepresent the crime. Was it 2 years ago? They're like, all crime is down in Vegas except shootings. No, that can't be because I live in Vegas and I'm walking around. But let's just take your word at what you say. So what you're trying to tell me is murder is up, but shootings are down?
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
They use knives.
No, but okay.
They use baseball bats.
Did I ever tell you the story of that Chicago cop that I met at the ZZ Top concert?
Maybe. I think so.
So basically what he said is The reason the murder rate is going down is because doctors don't know when to go.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you got somebody shot and they look like a gangbanger, take a coffee break.
Yeah.
But he's saying, so shootings, because it's a shootings number you want to worry about. Because that number is staying stagnant. That's staying pretty healthy. But the murder rate is dropping.
Yeah.
So when a city says our murder rate is up, because that's the number they have a hard time hiding.
Yeah.
So the fact that your city goes, the murder rate is up and everything else is down, like, right there is a problem. Robberies. I mean, they're down.
Yeah.
So what's going with the murder then?
Right.
So you kind of gotta play that game. But the reality is, if they say murder is up and shootings are down, they're fucking lying to you. You go back to the 70s and 80s. I mean, do you remember what an ambulance looked like in the 70s and 80s?
Yeah.
There was literally a door with a gurney.
Yeah.
Put them in there, let's go.
Yeah.
No equipment.
Yeah.
These things are operating rooms now.
Yeah.
So that alone, because when you get hurt, you have what's called the golden hour. The quicker you get the quicker you get medical treatment in the golden hour, the better chance you have of survival. So your golden hour can start in the ambulance now, where before you're on a gurney strapped down and you're just bouncing with the fucking station wagon going down the street, because they legit were sort of station wagons.
Yeah.
And they went to vans and now they're just like, I don't know, Black Hawk helicopters or some weird shit with technical stuff in there. But yeah, you just gotta play that game. I don't know how I got the crime rate, but it's fucking ridiculous. But change your filters.
There you go.
If you want cold air, you want mechanical cooling, keep your air filter going. But definitely check your delta T, which is the return in the supply. If you're anywhere near the number 20, you're at least meeting the industry standards. Some units perform better, very few units perform less. But that'll tell you if you're truly cooling, and it'll save you a few coins. So when Dave has the interest rates up at 18%, we have ways to still buy a house. I don't know.
You pay cash.
I'm not BlackRock. Jesus.
You will be.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for listening.
Week.
See you next week. Thank you for joining us at the Canary in the Cage podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share us to help build the community.
You can find us at Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app, and even on the dark web at I2P.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time.